Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. I hope everyone is doing okay. So I have a few of my plants in. This is a climbing aloe vera. This is actually twice as big as it was when I bought it. And if you get burns, you know, you can break off your leaves. But I don't know what happened there. And then this is a bird of paradise plant that I pulled up. It was about this big one day when I went to the casino. So I just started planting everything I possibly could, you know, from the seeds in my food. And some stuff is coming up. This is just seeds out of my food. I'm not sure what it is. We'll see what happens. Okay, now I want to show you something. Okay, this is my dehydrator that I got at the thrift store for $9.98, which is incredibly cheap. And it comes with, this is actually a pretty big dehydrator. You can put your food, it comes with 4 trays. But what I have in my dehydrator now is I have some jackfruit. And this is a tropical fruit. It was grown in Mexico. It's kind of good. It's kind of like mango. So I'm dehydrating it because I'm not one to eat a lot of fruit. I'm really not. Okay, so we had a case of the coronavirus in El Cajon, where I used to live, and I'm glad I don't live there anymore. Damn glad. But I wanted to mention the symptoms: high fever, fatigue, and persistent dry cough. So, by the time someone's getting sick with it, they know they're sick. I would say possibly they postpone going to the hospital as long as they possibly can. But eventually, you know, it's like a viral pneumonia. They're going to have to go. Okay, so now, what did I make? Well, one thing I made is I made a tasty little batch of beans with hot dogs. Everybody has their own little method. I like a little juice to my hot dogs and beans. This is good, you guys. Okay, so let's see. I had 1 can of beans and I put a couple hot dogs in there. And I like mine, you know, kind of like soup. And you could eat this. This is good. Everybody makes it different, but this is the way I make it. All that's in here is water and hot dogs. Okay, now. Oh, I wanted to mention something. Okay, I'm dehydrating the jackfruit, and I saved it's a huge fruit. I got it at the pantry. Never seen it in my life. I wash my jackfruit with a little water before dehydrating it. Okay, so now I want to tell you guys about a video. The video is Things Coming. Please listen to what the Lord's saying. All one word, Mrs. Cindy MP. You know, it was hard to listen to. It really was. But I forced myself to listen to it a couple of times. And the one thing that really, it was like, hit me was in the prophecy. It was prophesied that people would eat food, you know, that would be very, very hungry, and they would eat food that was rotten, knowing it was rotten, but they would be hungry and they would eat it. because, you know, they didn't have any food. And I thought about my food pantry trips, and I thought about how it's a majority of fresh food, which easily spoils. This is good. So I thought, okay, I'm not an alarmist and I'm not one to panic, but I think I was on the right trip with my stockpiling of canned food. So at the food bank, they gave us these, if you've never tried them, these drinks. They're like sparkling water. They're not sweet. So I find these beans to be a little tastier than pork and beans. But if you add a little brown sugar to your pork and beans, that will help. Okay, so now on the subject of hot dogs and beans, hot dogs and spaghetti, and hot dogs and top ramen is pretty good. And so the other thing I made is a zucchini bread, because I had zucchini from the food pantry. And so I didn't want to waste any of my produce. I tried to dehydrate it, and I tried to cook it all, you know, make stuff out of it, so as not to waste it. Oops. So I have a pretty good recipe that's not, you know, it's pretty much everything that you would be likely to have. There's no special ingredients. So I made my zucchini bread in my little cake pan, and I put a lot of cinnamon and sugar on the top. So this is tasty. Yum. Okay. Here's the recipe. What I did is I sifted all the dry ingredients, but not the baking powder and the salt. I mixed the baking powder and the salt. I didn't use walnuts. I had a video, you know, to make your food cheaper, you know, cutting back, but not painfully, you know, saving your walnuts for when you might really need them. And so then, you know, I mixed the eggs, the salad oil or oil, and instead of teaspoons of grated lemon, I made half a batch. I put 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. And then I put the baking powder and the salt in the wet ingredients to make sure it was mixed throughout. And then I mixed I put the wet ingredients in like a well, and I mixed my dry ingredients into the well so as not to over stir it. And then I added the zucchini in, and then, you know, I baked it. So that was how I made the zucchini bread. So okay, so now about stockpiling cans. Let me get my let me feature my food while I do this. So, you know, if things were to get really, really tight and you had something like this, you could get by. You really could. Okay, now I would stockpile cream corn so I could make cream of corn soup. I would stockpile green peas so I could make pea soup. You can make it with bacon. I would stockpile tomato sauce, and I try to get dented cans so I could make tomato soup. Because this is going to make I would stockpile potatoes so I could make potato soup. So with very little spending of money, you know, I could have some soup, and then I would try to find crackers so that I didn't run out of bread and I had crackers to go with my soup. With this, you could use Vienna sausage just like the hot dogs. And then the other thing I found, which is really, really helpful, is these packages of tuna, because you could eat them right out of the package with some crackers. So I'm going back to canned food. You know, the idea, I have known I think this is the reason, you know, really tell you the truth, my blood ran kind of cold for a minute when I heard that, because one time in a salon, one of the kids ate some old food. One of the girls' kids ate some old food, and he got a very, very bad case of food poisoning. So if you have your canned food, and if you make a point to buy those dented cans, that is going to keep you safe. Okay, I want to mention some stuff just real quick. It's about computers, like your laptops, and there is spying software where people can view your dwelling from a remote location or get into your computer. So if you get that sense that somebody's watching you, or gee, it's like somebody's into my computer, there is spying software, so you just disconnect from the internet and turn back on. Another thing that is dangerous is security cameras. Those can be breached. Another thing to keep in mind, I mean, not panicking, but screen creepers. Otherwise, they can view your screens from behind you, or if somebody's sitting very close to you, so you want to watch out for that. So spying software, security cameras, and screen creepers. Also on money, people can easily follow your money by a paper trail. So you want to watch the paper trail you create. Also, you know, if it's very easy, you know, to, for most people are very routine to hide your whereabouts. It's not that you want to hide, it's just that you don't want everyone knowing your whereabouts or being able to track you. One of the easiest ways is to turn off your phone. They say check your checking accounts daily, shred your documents. You know, as people are in the trash bins more, if things get tight, and your documents and stuff, they could be, you know, thieves of opportunity. Lock your devices, although in my opinion devices are not really safe. They say you should have a fireproof safe. Also, Wi-Fi is dangerous, and you guys have seen me, I'm in McDonald's in the morning. You should have antiviral, safeguard your social security. The social media is kind of dangerous, you know, for people knowing your whereabouts and what you're doing. Your credit cards can be breached, although they say it's better to use a credit card than a bank card. And then just full-on identity theft. So I wanted to mention that to you guys. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.